first one I'm going to hoop, I'm going to use the hoop, the 9.5 by 14 that came with the Meridian and the Altair. And that's this hoop right here. They're very discernible from all other hoops because they have these registration marks on them. Okay, so that's my binding fabric. So if you watch the video, I pin based. You can use any basting method that you are comfortable with. But all I'm going to do, I want to get the center right in here of those little petals. I'm not going to stitch any of the big petal, any of the actual flower petals. I'm going after this little center portion first. In quilting, whether it's in the hoop or any type of free motion quilting, you always want to start in the center of your hoop. Okay. Now, since I have pins there, once I get this position, and what I do, I just have the bottom part of the hoop in right now. And what I like to do, I use 2 fingers. And as long as I can run my 2 fingers up the sides here, I know that what I am wanting to do will be inside of the hoop. This way is no problem. It's a side to side here, so it needs to come over this way just a little bit. Right there. I'm going to admit whoever that was is trying to get in. Trisha, there you go. Okay. Now I'm going to go back over here. And as you can see, I have 4 pins. 1, 2, 3, 4 that I need to remove. So I'm going to do that. I love these little wonder pins because they're super easy to remove as opposed to regular safety pins. Okay. Now, what I've done here, I have a straight pin right there. So what you want to do, you want to loosen your hoop. Not all, you want to loosen it enough that it's easy to put the upper hoop in. You want to be very careful and not loosen it so much that screw comes out because it's a pain to get back in. Ask me how I know. Okay, that's perfect. And then I'm just going to place this on the inside and feel, and then it should easily go right down in place. Okay. And then I'm just going to finger tighten it. You don't want to over tighten it, but I should be able to turn it about 3 times. Now, our little multi-tool that comes with our machines, let me grab one of those. This little tool right here. In case you don't know, see that hole on the end of it? Well, when you turn this so that this metal tip faces that hole, oops, I'm all fingers this morning. There we go. You can actually loosen and tighten your hoops with that tool, okay? Because it will fit right over. Now I like to give it a good 3 turns. That makes it nice and tight. The first time you hoop this will be the hardest time. After that, it's really easy to do. Okay, so that one's ready to go to the Altair. Now I just want to check, make sure there's no wrinkles on the back. Nope, nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. It's all good. And it's ready to go. Now, if I was using the magnetic hoop for this, and now I'm going to take this out, And I'm going to use the magnetic hoop for the Altair and Meridian, which is the 9.5 by 14. Just going to take this out. Take out my lower hoop because I won't need that. Then I'm going to take my 9.5 by 14. Top, there's the bottom. I'm going to hoop it again. But now I don't have to mess with any screws. Okay. I'm going to get that lined up just like I did before. You can feel the edges of that metal. So it needs to come over this, it needs to come that way some. Back just a hair. Okay. Now I'm going to put the magnet part on. Now this is a technique for Altair Meridian. And when you put this on, you want to make sure the edges of the magnet and the metal are perfectly aligned. And you can do that by lifting up on it and using your fingers to adjust it, because you can feel it right there. Okay? And then you might have it, see, I got a little bubble right there. Just grab a hold of the top, put your hand right here, and just gently pull, and you'll get the bubbles right out of it. Because once it's in the machine, you're going to be golden. And then once I get this adjusted, okay, then I'm going to flip it over to the back and make sure it looks good. There's no wrinkles in it. And there's not, nice and smooth. Now we get to take the picture with our mobile device and the IQ positioning app. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this frame, my 9.5 by 14, and I'm going to lay it right on top of this magnet. And I'm going to line up the inside edges of these two hoops. Okay. This is my hack. This is how I figured out how to use it with the Altair. Let me grab my phone. Here's a cell phone. I'm just going to hold my phone over it. Oops, I got to get the app started though. It won't do it with just the camera. There we go, IQ positioning app. And I want the one that says IQ Designer photo frame for creating design. I'm going to hold it over my phone. It says hold 3, 2, 1. It took the picture. Now let's press on the button. It says send to the machine. It's sending. And I got to try it again. Send to machine. Sometimes that happens. Okay. I have a lot of wireless things going on in here today. Let's try it again. Get closer to my sewing machine, to the Altair. Send. There, it's sent. It says sent to IQ Designer. I clicked on OK. Now I'm done with my phone. So let me get some more knitted. And now I'm going to take this over. I'm done with this, so I just take my hoop off. to use a magnetic hoop with the Altair or Meridian, you have to buy the magnetic hoop that matches the size of the hoop that came with your machine. Because the only way to get it into the machine is by taking a picture that has these registration marks on it, on the hoop. And that's how you do that. So, I'm going to take this over to the machine, and then I am going to hoop for the Solaris with a different panel. If you have the Solaris or Destiny, use your largest hoop. And I'm going to use the magnetic hoop on this one. I have the 10.5 by 16 magnetic for the Solaris. And I'm going to put this sample down. And I'm going to hoop one of the larger leads for that. Yes. And let me think here. No, yes. So to do this, it's just the same way with the others. So here is the leaf I want. It's this one right here. That's what I'm going to do next on this one. I'm not going to put this in the machine right now. However, once I get the center done on the Altair, I'm going to put the same panel into the Solaris after I rehoop. Okay. It's all nice and smooth. What I like to do with these magnetic hoops is find a corner, set it down, line it up. Just make sure the edges are nice and even. I'm just going to gently give it a little stretch just to work out any bubbles that I see. I don't mind taking a little extra time doing it like this, because I'd rather do this than have to sew in with thread basting stitches and then rip all of those stitches out. It's fine. And that's all there is to hooping using the magnetic hoop on the Solaris or Destiny.